Mr. English is back with another video about astonishing facts related to the credibility of the Donald Trump, who by using tool of disinformation is not only befooling the entire American nation, rather its impacts are dripping down to all the countries who are found to be the victims of the COVID-19 at this moment. The passage of the information across the world which is based on falsehood, ingenuity and fake news is termed as disinformation. In fact, writers are hired to fabricate news and deceitful stories are made to attain certain agendas whose results have successfully been acquired while simply playing with the untrained minds of the innocent Americans and other people across the world. Mr. Donald Trump, who is known as the mastermind of the disinformation, has incurred unidentifiable damage to the Americans, whereas the acceptability of Donald Trump as a president of the United States of America is a bullcrap and still eye-opening.
Trump is spewing at least 18 false statements in 53 minutes today. That's an average of about one lie every 3 minutes or so. See if you can spot what's wrong with this claim about the whistleblower complaint.
It bore no relationship. It said there were 7 or 8 quid pro quos. There were none. It bore no relationship to my call. Nobody brings that out. The whistleblower is, in my opinion, a political operative.
Eye-opening. Trump as a person, as a politician, is riddled with flaws, but he also has ignominious superpower. He is completely unencumbered by the truth, the need to tell it or accept it. He will do and say anything that he believes will help him. He has no greater guiding principles. He is not bound by the ethics or moral.
CNN's Daniel Dale, a fact-checker extraordinaire, found the problem. He fact-checks every word the president says. Daniel, let's start with that claim about the whistleblower. He says this a lot. What's your issue with this?
Yeah, so he said this more than 45 times at this point. And the whistleblower complaint not only bore a relationship to Trump's call, it has been overwhelmingly corroborated by the rough transcript Trump himself released. So the whistleblower's 3 main allegations about their call were: 1, Trump wanted Zelensky to investigate Biden. That's been confirmed. Trump wanted Zelensky to investigate this debunked 2016 server conspiracy theory. That's been confirmed. And he wanted Zelensky to speak to Giuliani, his personal lawyer, and Attorney General Barr. That was confirmed as well. So this has been overwhelmingly, again, confirmed.
His only alliances are to those who would support and further his devotion to self-promotion. Everything he does is self-aggrandize. Everything he does is to make himself look like he is, the strongest, the fastest, the strongly and quickly. That is this whole bullcrap about Trump. He is the American president. Mark it. He just lies and lies. And in the same line, the frequency of the lies remains uninterrupted because of the clever use of the disinformation.
I want you to take a listen to this from President Trump attacking the House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff.
Now, Schiff, remember this. He makes it all up. He's sick. There's something wrong with him. So he made up my phone call. He made it up. He made up a phone call. And then when I released it, everybody was embarrassed.
Now, there is this thing when Adam Schiff did like kind of a dramatic reenactment, a paraphrase of the president's phone call. I don't think he was lying about it, but it was probably not politically the smartest thing. But the president has a timeline issue here.
He does. So I've read myself that Schiff's rendition was exaggerated. Trump is reasonable to be miffed about it. But Trump is switching up when things happen. So Trump is saying that Schiff spoke and then he outsmarted Schiff by releasing the transcript the next day or sometime after.
Not what happened.
Trump released the transcript first. Trump's initial complaint about Schiff was that he hadn't hewed closely enough to the transcript that had already been released. Why Trump is switching this up, I have no idea.
Well, because it's a lie that makes him look better and Adam Schiff look worse.
That's probably it.
I mean, that's just one hypothesis.
Top-ranking agencies around the world, just like KGB, RAW, Mossad, and many other agencies of the world, they have hired their agents to supply disinformation across the world in order to achieve their certain objectives. And same is the case with Donald Trump. He hammers the minds of the innocent Americans with mere use of disinformation.
Reasonable.
The president revealed at least one.
It took the White House 9 months to send it to embassies and other government buildings. And our Kylie Atwood heard from a State Department official who served in Kiev who said she didn't refuse anything. It's just that we didn't get the picture till late 2017. So it seems like Trump was at fault for the thing he's blaming Yovanovitch for.
So he's
Quite alarmingly, Trump is successful in his mission, and the same is the case with the story of the coronavirus around the world as far as the figures of this pandemic are concerned. United States of America is the country where about $3 trillion have been fixed to combat the coronavirus, which Mr. Trump is going to drain for his own fishy motive. The Secretary of the Health and Human Services of United States of America actually said the vaccine may not be safe and the vaccine may not be efficacious as well, meaning it doesn't work. They all have one Operation Warp Speed, which is what the White House is calling this push to have a vaccine by the end of the year. 300 million doses is the promise. Irrespective of knowing the validity of the vaccines, Americans will be injected fake vaccines according to the plan formulated based on disinformation about its quality and genuineness, while giving the false hopes to the proud nations of the world that this would be the antidote to this pandemic COVID-19.
He tells more lies and untruths and falsehoods than any president in modern memory. Is there evidence that this has eroded his credibility at all?
Well, I think we've seen it in the polls consistently that about 2/3 of Americans do not think the president is honest and trustworthy. We pay a lot of attention to his base, and that's important. We have to understand what his staunch supporters think, but we also have to remember that the overwhelming majority of Americans simply do not believe what this president is saying.
Daniel Dale, thank you so much.
Ruthlessly, I would say ruthlessly. All the COVID-19 kits were made by China with the due permission of the World Health Organization, and its samples after completion were approved by WHO with the intention of rescuing human race, which is again a disinformation. This is the supreme example of the biggest fraud of the human history, which took place across the world on the basis of the disinformation, but to the extent of belief for the race of the billions of humans. Let's talk about the impacts of the disinformation in Pakistan. Mr. Justice Gulzar Ahmed has probed the figures of the COVID-19 here in Pakistan, which have been found fake and fabricated just because of the kits used for the diagnosis. Results of the kits are quite opposite to the publicly established corona centers in Pakistan compared with the ones provided by the private labs. So this is really the horrific story about the disinformation, and this is how Mr. Donald Trump is utilizing this tool in order to seduce the minds of the billions of the people around the world, and he's the leader of the world right now. This is how disinformation has ruined the entire economy of the world at this. Be well alarmed and well aware of this current situation. Now try to perceive the information keeping in mind this theory of disinformation in your mind. Never try to believe whatever is being said could be true. So keep on watching videos of Mr.